live. Haven't seen you in a while. We have an amazing guest today, and a very good friend, Steve Griggs from the Lightning. And we will get back to him in just a second. But first, we're going to go over some of our numbers. Uh, Case update for COVID: 31,197 total cases in Hillsborough County, and that includes 377 deaths. As I state each and every time, each one of those numbers, there's an individual behind that, someone's loved one, family member, friend, or neighbor. So we do everything that we can, working hard every day to reduce not only the number of cases of COVID, but certainly to reduce the number of deaths. In Florida, there's 502,739 total cases, 7,741 deaths. Testing so far in Hillsborough County, we have tested 234,015 individuals, and just a little bit over 13% of those individuals tested positive. So if you've been following the numbers, you know that dramatically increased, and the age bracket that our positive cases skyrocketed in were the 25 to 34, and that was after the closings were relaxed to allow bars to open up. Bars were closed down, but we're still seeing the effects of that age bracket. Still the highest number of positive cases in the 25 to 34, but really it's around 21 to the early 30s are the vast majority of the positive cases. And most of those individuals can get through it relatively easy, some cases without any symptoms at all. But the issue is when they transmit or take it home to individuals that can least afford to have COVID-19. So again, that's why we put the mask order in place, and we remind everyone to take those simple steps, staying 6 feet away from others, and when you can't, to wear a mask. Indoors is what we've mandated, but really just get used to wearing the masks. I think those are going to be a part of our life moving forward for quite some time, and that really is the way that we're bringing down these numbers of cases. There's not a dramatic decrease, but we aren't seeing those skyrocketing number of positive cases, and we're actually seeing some gradual decreases in the number of positive cases, and then our hospitalizations, number of individuals presenting themselves to the emergency room, and so forth. And as most are aware, we've made some advances. I say we, like I went to medical school. We've made some advances in the treatment of COVID-19, and so there's less of a reliance on ventilators when individuals get into the ICU. So we have made a number of advances, and we're very, very fortunate to live in a community that has an amazing medical school at USF Medical School, Morsani School of Medicine, and then to have all of our hospitals working together, TGH, Bayfront, Advent, and HCA, all working in partnership to keep our community very healthy and very safe. So we're very fortunate in that, but everyone needs to wear those masks. As far as opening of the schools, I met with a school superintendent about a week and a half ago, and talked about what that looks like. We have offered our assistance at the city if they need more physical room in the form of parks and recreation locations, then we'd be more than willing to help out so that we can space kids out safely in a learning environment. Our Relief Now, Rise Together program, our One Tampa program, as you know, we've had several phases. We're in phase 3 now, the last phase. First phase we had was for residents. Second phase was for small businesses. And then we went to a third phase where basically you just had to fill out a one-page application, and if you had a City of Tampa business license, you put that number in there and you would know immediately if you qualified or not. And we made 100 $2,000 grant possibilities in each of the 4 city council districts. So we've already given away those 400 $2,000 relief checks to many of our small businesses throughout the city of Tampa. But please stay tuned because we're looking to extend that starting this Friday. So we're doing all we can to help our small businesses. I know there are a lot of individuals. I personally delivered some of those checks, and I tell you that more than one business owner cried when I handed them the check. So every little bit counts out there in the community, and we're all in this together without a doubt. So please pay attention to that. Again, this Friday, we're looking to continue that. We the emergency policy group, if you guys have followed those meetings, I apologize. They can be very long and a little difficult to watch sometimes. But the Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously today to do away with the structure of the EPG that included the city mayors, the sheriff, and the chair of the school board. So now the emergency policy group is going to consist of the Board of County Commissioners. What does that mean for the city of Tampa? We have such a great working relationship here in Hillsborough County that it really shouldn't have any impact. We're all used to working together in the best interest of our community. And so I don't see that stopping. If there are unique needs for the city of Tampa, then I can put those emergency orders in place. So I'll always be doing what's in the best interest of all of our residents. All right, so let's get to the good part here. And we have to make this quick because both Steve and I are just going to walk off the set at 4 o'clock because the Lightning are playing at 4 o'clock today. So let me introduce my friend Steve Griggs, and I'm bound and determined to get him to say organization today. So Steve Griggs is entering his 4th season as Chief Executive Officer of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Amalie Arena after being named to the position in 2015. Prior to being named as CEO, he spent 1 year as team president or as Chief Operating Officer. During his tenure with the Lightning, the organization has risen to unprecedented heights, that's for sure, as evidenced by the team selling out 158 consecutive games entering the 2018-19 season. Lightning have posted season ticket renewal rates of more than 90% this year and nearly tripled the base since the 09-10 season, totaling more than 15,000 season ticket memberships, while luxury suites and luge boxes are sold out for the 3rd consecutive season. Griggs was instrumental in generating the team's Be the Thunder campaign that has galvanized the fan base and served as a rallying cry to fans both at the games and in the community. Before coming to Tampa Bay, Steve spent 3 years serving as Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing with the Orlando Magic. You should have brought the Magic with you. That's all we're missing as a basketball team here. Prior to joining the Magic, he served for 7 years as the Vice President of Sales and Service for the Minnesota Wild of the NHL. Griggs' wife to now have a daughter, Maddie, and son, Jack. And you also have a dog. Your dog's a yellow lab?
Black lab, Molson.
And then he the one that like ate turkey for Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's good. That's how I have labs too. Yellow labs, black labs. Mine now is Pork Chop, and he lives up to his name, although he's too big to get up on the counter and eat the Thanksgiving turkey. All right, so welcome. And you know what, Steve? Talk about those, or talking about those numbers for fans here in the city of Tampa. That really is incredible for any hockey franchise, throughout the nation and in Canada. But when you talk about in the state of Florida, I'm 60 years old. I've never been on ice skates in my life, and I am a rabid hockey fan. So that really is a tribute to the Lightning organization, to Jeff Fennick, and to the entire Lightning team, and certainly to you as well. So you guys have done such great things here in the community, and we're very appreciative of that.
Thank you.
Tell us about the hockey season.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Mayor, for all that you have done. You're a true partner for us, but the leadership that you have shown over the last year and a half, I'm sure this wasn't in the playbook when you took over as mayor, but you've been an incredible leader during these events and these times. And so I say thank you, and we thank you for everything that you're doing to lead this city. Um, as far as I think it all comes down to thanking the fans. And I think, you know, and I think we always talk about the All-Star game in 2018, which was an incredible time here. And it was a testament to the league saying, let's bring the All-Star game to Tampa. You got about 8 months to get it ready. But it was a thank you to the fans, and especially since Jeff Vinnix bought the team, and he, you know, he declared he wanted to build a world-class organization. There you go.
There you go.
And and he's you know, you have a lot of owners that can come into a city and say this is what we're going to do, and they don't do it. But Jeff has lived up to every single thing he said he was going to do, transforming the building, transforming the brand, transforming how a team should behave in the community and give back to the community, and that's what we do each and every day. And then putting a kick-ass hockey team on the ice.
Yes.
And that's because he spends the cap every year. And so it really is, we thank the fans each and every day. And, you know, we're up to over 200 consecutive sellouts here in Florida. Our ratings the other night were through the roof for our first game back. So there's pent up.
Yes.
But we're just blessed to be in this community, and it's galvanized the community. And hopefully, during everything we've been through the last 4.5 months, that this is what this community needs right now, is something to rally behind.
Yes, without a doubt, and we love rallying behind the Lightning. So let's talk about what the season looks like. We dropped the Lightning banner at City Hall, and so you and I had a short conversation, but let's let the community know what the season looks like up to us bringing home the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, so we're in the middle of the round robin. So there's 4 teams in the round robin. It's Washington, Boston, ourselves, and Philadelphia. So we play Philadelphia on Saturday. We win tonight, we'll have one of the top 2 positions in the round robin. And then there's 8 other teams that are in our bubble in Toronto. There's 2 bubbles. The Western Conference is in the Eastern bubble. So the 8 teams that are in the qualifiers, the 4 teams that win, then they'll play out the 4 top seeds that are in this round robin seeding now. So hopefully we get one of the top 2 round robins, and then we'll go right into playoffs, just like we normally do, where the qualifiers are 3 out of 5. The rest of the 4 rounds will be the best 4 out of 7. And so we win the first 2 rounds in Toronto, and then we'll move from the Toronto bubble to the Edmonton bubble, and we'll play the Eastern Conference Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals in Edmonton. And we could be playing until first week in October and being crowned the Stanley Cup champion, which is kind of crazy right now. But, we are in crazy times. And but I think it's, there's 12 hours of hockey on every single day right now. And, the person who loves it the most is Jeff Vinnix, because he just loves hockey. And I think he's watching every single game. And it's great. I was just watching the Florida Panthers. They beat the Islanders today, and it's a noon game on a Wednesday. So the guys with the NHL and Steve Mayer, who's the one who brought the All-Star game here and is a dear friend of ours, and we're working very hard to get an outdoor game here in Tampa as well. So I'm calling him every month, but he's the one who's put together these 2 bubbles, and it's spectacular what has gone on. 7,000 tests for COVID in the last 10 days, and not one positive test with the players. So it proves that the bubbles work.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Now we have one of the most, if not the most difficult or competitive divisions, right? I mean, the teams that we have to play on a regular basis in our division are the most difficult.
Yeah, we'll start with Boston. Obviously, we've had a long history with Boston. We'll have to go through Washington again too. The other teams that I see that have been really good here in the bubble so far is Carolina and the Islanders. They've been playing really well. So it'll be an interesting path. I think you always got to play the best teams. The best teams win, and the playoffs, as Jeff always says about the playoffs, when we have those, those events at the Marriott before every playoff round, You got to have a hot goalie. You got to have a good matchup. Your best players got to be your best players, and you have to try and get through with no injuries and have some good puck luck.
There
So
you go.
yeah, so
And the best way to win is score more points than
yes, right.
anybody else. So that's always that works. So what do you think? I mean, I know that our chances are amazing to win the Stanley Cup, but what's your view on that?
Well, I'm always positive. I'm positive about COVID's gonna, we're gonna find a vaccine soon, and we're gonna get back to a new normal soon. So I live on the island of positivity. So last year was rough. I am not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was a rough 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great team. We got the best goalie in the world. Your guy Victor Hedman is one of the best defensemen in the world. And then we got Cooch and Point and Stamkos. And what I really think is the acquisitions that Julian's made with Zach Bojevin, Barkley, Goudreau, and Pat Maroon, and Blake Coleman. That adds a little bit of edge that maybe we didn't have, a little bit of
Yeah.
toughness that we needed, and I think that that'll come into play in this year's playoffs. So I'm expecting to. I don't know how we're going to do the social distancing parade, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, look, we will find a way. There's no doubt about that. So who do you predict will be playing for the Stanley Cup in the final?
I've been watching a couple of those games out west, and obviously St. Louis is the reigning champion, but I will say Vegas has looked really good, and so is the Colorado Avalanche. So I'm gonna pick Vegas.
Yeah. Well, there you go. The odds on favorite, eh?
Exactly.
There you go. So we talked earlier about just the hockey fans in general and how passionate and the noise level and the participation and I'm sure that really has to generate. You look at other baseball, at football, uh, and the crowd plays a part. But really, in hockey, the crowd just gets into the game. If they could literally, they probably would. But what does it look like in the arena? What's the feel for the team without the fan base in the seats?
Yeah, we've asked John that question, John Cooper, and it really is up to the players to sort of generate that momentum themselves that the crowd can't. I think that's why maybe in the round robins you've seen a couple of good fights, trying to get your team, trying to get your
Yeah,
team going. But the like I said, in the bubble, they've done a great job of creating a great environment. Obviously, you don't have the fans, but it comes down to the players. And once the puck drops, I think it's game on, and they might not even notice the fans are there
yeah,
in a normal setting. But obviously, the momentum you can feel building it when you're up 2-0 and the crowd is behind you. But then you can also feel it the other way when you are down 2-0 and the crowd is on
and
you.
so behind you, yeah, without a doubt. So what's been the financial impact on the organization throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, I think Jeff was quoted in an article last week. I mean, it's been significant. I think you and I were on a call on March 11th talking about not only the NCAA being canceled, but then WWE was canceled. We were going through that. We had four of those WWE events in our building. We had all of we had 7 remaining hockey games plus playoffs, and that's just last year. And
Yeah,
so the financials are significant. Um, but we work for Jeff, who is just the best owner in sports, and you know, his, and I wrote down 3 things, and that when we first started coming out of this, which was caring, community, and communication, as it relates to not only our employees but what we're doing in the community. And so, while we as an organization had significant losses, there's a lot of people in this community that are going through significantly hard times, and I think you saw that right away that Jeff committed early, not only on a financial basis to whether it was Metropolitan Ministry, feeding Tampa Bay. We've done 100,000 meals already, but then also our advertising campaign that we used all of our assets to push people towards the unemployment websites, to Met Ministries for people with food insecurity, as well as the SBA and PPP loans. So
Mhm.
we stepped up. We knew we had our own financial losses, but we knew there was people in this community that were hit harder than we were, and so it was incumbent upon us as an organization that works for Jeff Vinnick that we reversed it and said, how do we help other people during these times?
Yeah, it has been wonderful. You even helped out with our relief program
Yeah,
in
100,000 for the one Tampa. Yeah.
yeah. So we were very, very appreciative
Yep.
of that. And one of the things too is that Tampa is very well respected, and it is a destination that individuals want to come to, either to work or to play or to watch sports, to go to conferences, to go to conventions. And so we haven't seen the cancellation, we've seen the postponement. And so
Hmm.
that's, that's sort of the best that we can do in a time like this, to say that, it's difficult to lose those revenue generating events for our community, but to know that they're just waiting for a safe time to reschedule a lot of those. So we're very fortunate in that. So how do you keep all of your employees, your team engaged? You and I had a couple of conversations about this in the past. So how have you been able to keep them engaged during the pandemic?
Well, like I went back, like I said before, caring,
Hmm.
communication, and community. The caring part was easy. That we've kept every single employee on, 230 employees. We've, all of our part timers, all of those events, we paid them for those events that they would have missed. So the ushers, the ticket takers, the people working for Delaware North, because we knew we had to take care of them. When it comes to communicating, we use all of our resources to. We have 16,000 season ticket holders. How do you communicate with them? Keep them engaged. Our sponsors, our suite holders, all of those things were really important to us to make sure that our fans were still engaged with us. So the content that we created, when you look at Alex Florin's Doc Talk, not only was it a great content piece and it connected our fans, he also raised $50,000 for the Hillsborough Teachers Foundation.
Yes.
So we've done a lot of training with our employees. Our team was back in the arena for about 2 months before they went off to Toronto. So we had all of our facility ops people working that. So we've had everybody engaged and working. And also, you go back to just continuous learning and development to make not only the individuals better, but then the managers better, but then our team better. So we've been doing a lot of that. And then obviously with what's happened with social injustice, we've really dove into how do we educate our organization and make it better, and we all need to be better in that area. And so we've spent a lot of time with all of our employees really working on that piece of it with our diversity and inclusion
Yeah.
component.
Yeah, and I know that you guys are working with an organization that is very near and dear to my heart, Men of Vision, that Russ
Hmm.
Anderson started, and they had a goal of raising $10,000 to purchase computers for all of the high school, the young men in high school that were going off to college, and so. Very grateful for Elizabeth reaching out and helping them with that endeavor as well. So,
Well, there's going to be more coming that way. Two things. One is during this pandemic, we missed 7 games where we had the community heroes. So I've been out and about to see all of those heroes and deliver their checks for them, the $50,000 checks to those 7 people, because they're doing God's work in this community, especially during this time. So we were out making sure that they had the resources they need. And now we're going to be, Elizabeth might kill me here, but we're going to do $200,000 for community heroes for one of the playoffs, and Men
oh,
Vision is one of those groups. So
that's so wonderful. I tell you what,
so we're going to keep doing it.
just shows why you're such a wonderful organization. And I have to tell you, we've had this discussion several times. My son Sealy is a rabid Lightning fan, and plays in the roller hockey rink that the Lightning have put several of throughout our community to get young kids out and playing hockey and involved physically in the sport, not just as fans. But my son has asked me no less than probably 20 times when I was going to be on Alex's show. So if Alex is still doing a show, tell him that if he'd do me a favor, I know it
when,
would be a
when
drag to have to interview me, but anything
we
would be wonderful.
we'll get you on a Sea-Doo. If you're on a Sea-Doo with
Oh,
them,
there you go. I
we'll
can
get you into that. It'll be part of the parade, so it'll be like
Yeah,
the
hey, that would be great. We'll make the Stanley Cup a boat parade.
there you go.
We're unique.
That's right.
That's a great idea. So you already talked to us about, the Vinnick family's community give back during this time, and the way that the Lightning has been so involved in the community. So just give us some overarching numbers of how much the Vinnick Foundation has given out in the community hero grants, if you know that. And some people may not be aware that
Yeah.
every game, home game, there's $50,000 given to a community hero.
Well, we're just finished our, I want to say, ninth season. We got a 10th season to go. We've given out over $20 million in community hero grants in those 10 years. Over 400 community heroes, and each and every one of them has done incredible work in this community. And when we first started this, it was whether we won or lost the game, you were going to feel good about leaving the game knowing that someone in this community was doing great work in this community and hopefully inspiring others to do great work. And I think that's what's happened. And we've actually created on the Saturdays we do community heroes for young people, and that's the next generation of heroes, and they're starting young, doing great work in this community. And so not only we give them $25,000 for what they're doing, but also then 25,000 that they can use for their education. So it's just a great program, and each and every one of them inspires us and wants us to continue to do more.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we are so thankful to have you in our community, to have the Lightning, to have the foundation, and to have Jeff Vennick. I met first time I met Jeff Vennick is when he came to town, and we were at Metropolitan Ministries, and he walked up. I was a police officer at the time, assistant chief, and he walked up and gave me his cell phone number, and he said, anything at all that you may need in the community, he said, this is my cell phone number, just give me a call and I'll help out in any way I can. So what an introduction to an individual. And the Lightning organization and the Vennick Family Foundation haven't stopped giving from day one. So we are blessed
They're
to have you guys here, without a doubt.
Well, they're amazing people, and my iPad's been dinging here because Todd Lywicki and Jeff Vinnick are texting back and forth to me, and while we're on the air. So
That's Tell Todd I said hey too. I haven't talked to him in so long.
yes,
My goodness.
so I've been blessed to work for both of them, and they're amazing people. And Jeff's just done amazing things in this community, and will continue to. So
he has, without a doubt. And now I'm looking down, and it says 4:08. So although
puck drops in 2 minutes.
we could stay here and talk all day long, as you said, the puck drops in 2 minutes. So thank you so much, Steve. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thank you for the foundation, for the organization, and go Bolts.
Go Bolts. All
That's
right.
right.
Thank
Take
you, Mayor.
All right.
right.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.